Free maths lessons, number revision. Here I've included the names for the videos that are in this topic. Free maths lessons. Today's topic, factors and primes. The factors of a number are any number that divide into it exactly without leaving a remainder. A prime number has exactly two factors. If a number is a factor of another number and it is a prime number, then it is called a prime factor. You use a factor tree to find prime factors. Index form means that you need to use powers to say how many times each prime number occurs in the product. Here I have found the product of 72. This tells us that the product of 72 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. This can also be written in its index form, which is 72 equals 2 cubed times 3 squared. Remember to put in the multiplication signs. This is called a product of prime factors. Also remember to circle the prime factors as you go along. The order doesn't matter. The highest common factor of two numbers is the highest number that is a factor of both numbers. The lowest common factor of two numbers is the lowest number that is a multiple of both numbers. Write 108 as the product of its prime factor using a factor tree. Please give your answer in the index form. Pause the video to answer this question. The answer is 2 squared times 3 cubed. To find the HCF, circle all the prime numbers which are common to both products of prime factors. Work out the highest common factor of 108 and 24. Pause the video to answer the question if you're confident to. The highest common factor is 12. To find the LCM, multiply the HCF by the numbers in both products that were not circled. And the LCM, multiply the HCF by the numbers in both products that were not circled. Work out the lowest common multiple of 108 and 24. The lowest common multiple is 216. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and share. Free maths lessons, indices. The index laws tell you how to work with powers of numbers. Indices include square roots, cube roots, and powers. You can use the index laws to simplify powers and roots. A to the power of m times a to the power of n equals a to the power of m plus n. A to the power of m divided by a to the power of n equals a to the power of m minus n. A to the power of m in brackets to the power of n equals a to the power of mn. 4 to the power of 3 times 4 to the power of 7 equals 4 to the power of 3 plus 7. 12 to the power of 8 divided by 12 to the power of 3 equals 12 to the power of 8 minus 3. 7 to the power of 3 in brackets to the power of 5 equals 7 to the power of 3 times 5. The cube root of a positive number is positive. 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. 4 cubed equals 64. The cube root of 64 equals 4. The cube root of a negative number is negative. Minus 4 times minus 4 times minus 4 equals minus 64. Minus 4 in brackets to the power of 3 equals minus 64. The cube root of minus 64 equals minus 4. raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Anything raised to the power of 1 is equal to itself. 6 to the power of 0 equals 1. 9 to the power of 1 equals 9. Indices checklist. The base numbers have to be the same. If there's no index, the number has the power 1. Be careful with negatives. Minus 3 in brackets to the power of 2 equals 9. Write 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 as a single power of 6 if you're confident to. Pause the video to answer this question. The answer is 6 to the power of 5. Simplify 3 to the power of 8 times 3 over 3 to the power of 4 fully, leaving the answer in index form. Pause the video to answer this question. The answer is 3 to the power of 5. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like and share. Free maths lessons, fractions. Adding or subtracting fractions. Add or subtract the whole numbers. 2 and 2/3 plus 1½ equals 3 plus 2/3 plus a half. Write the fractions as fractions with the same denominator. 3 plus 4 over 6 plus 3 over 6 equals 3 plus 7 over 6. Add or subtract the fractions. 3 plus 1 and 1/6 equals 4 and 1/6. Multiplying fractions. Convert any mixed numbers to improper fractions. 3 1/4 times 2 2/3 equals 13 over 4 times 8 over 3. Multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators, cancelling where possible. 13 times 8 over 4 times 3. This equals to 13 times 2 over 1 times 3. This is simplified to 26 over 3. Convert any improper fractions to mixed numbers. 26 over 3 equals to 8 2/3. Dividing fractions. Convert any mixed numbers to improper fractions. Turn the second fraction upside down and change divide to times. Multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators, cancelling where possible. 25 times 8 over 4 times 15. This equals to 5 times 2 over 1 times 3. This is simplified to 10 over 3. Convert any improper fractions to mixed numbers. 10 over 3 equals 3 1/3. Work out 3 4/9 plus 1 5/6. Pause the video to answer this question. The answer is 5 5/18. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like and share. Free maths lessons, decimals. Terminating. Terminating decimals can be written exactly. You can write a terminating decimal as a fraction with a denominator of 10, 100, 1000 and so on. Recurring. Recurring decimals have one digit or group of digits repeated forever. You can use dots to show the recurring digit or group of digits. Work the example. 2 over 3 equals 0.6 reoccurring. To check whether a fraction produces a recurring decimal or a terminating decimal, write it in its simplest form and find the prime factors of its denominator. Here is what you need to know. Show that 6/25 can be written as a terminating decimal. Pause the video to answer this question. The answer is provided here. Further information, you could also write the denominator as a product of its prime factors. 7/50 is equivalent to 7/2 times 5 squared. The only factors are 2 and 5, so 7/50 produces a terminating decimal. Show that 7/50 cannot be written as a terminating decimal. Pause the video to answer this question. The answer is 11/2 cubed times 3. Explanation. The denominator contains a factor other than 2 or 5, so the decimal is recurring. Fractions and decimals. To convert a fraction into a decimal, divide the numerator by the denominator. Example, 2/5 equals 2 divided by 5, which is equivalent to 0.4. It's useful to remember these common fraction to decimal conversions. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like and share. Free maths lessons. Estimation. You can estimate the answer to a calculation by rounding each number to one significant figure and then doing the calculation. You can use this method to check your answers or to estimate calculations on your non-calculator paper. Here is an example. You might have to divide by a decimal on your non-calculator paper. If you multiply both numbers in a division by the same amount, the answer stays the same. Here's an example. Worked example. Work out an estimation for the question below. Pause the video to answer this question. Here is the working out. Worked example. Work out an estimation for 37.4 cubed. Pause the video to answer this question. Here's the working out. Work example. A spherical ball bearing has a radius of 2.35 centimeters. Work out an estimation for its surface area in square centimeters. The surface area of a sphere is equal to 4 pi r squared. Pause the video to answer this question. Here is the working out. Is your answer to the previous question an overestimate or an underestimate? Give a reason for your answer. Pause the video to answer this question. Here is the working out. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like and share. Free maths lessons, standard form. Numbers in standard form have two parts. I have given an explanation below. You can use standard form to write very large or very small numbers. 920,000 equals to 9.2 times 10 to the power of 5. Numbers greater than 10 have a positive power of 10. 0.00703 equals to 7.03 times 10 to the power of minus 3. Numbers less than 1 have a negative power of 10. Counting decimal places. You count decimal places to convert between numbers in standard form and ordinary numbers. 7,900 equals to 7.9 times 10 to the power of 3. Be careful, don't just count zeros to work out this power. 0.00035 equals to 3.5 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Worked example. Work out the value of the question below. Give your answer in standard form. Pause the video to answer this question. Here is the working out. Worked example. To add or subtract numbers in standard form, write them as ordinary numbers first, then use a written method to add or subtract. Rearrange so powers of 10 are together. Multiply the number parts and add the powers. A to the power of m times a to the power of n equals a to the power of m plus n. Rewrite your answer in standard form if necessary. Rearrange the powers of 10 are together. Divide the number parts and subtract the powers. A to the power of m divided by a to the power of n equals a to the power of m minus n. Rewrite your answer in standard form if necessary. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like and share. Free maths lessons, recurring decimals. You can use algebra to convert a recurring decimal into a fraction. Here's the strategy. If you need to do this in your exam, you must show all your working out. Some calculators will convert recurring decimals into fractions for you, but the question says prove that, so you must write down all the steps shown here. Prove that the recurring decimal 0.24 has the value 8/33. Pause the video to answer the question. Here's the working out. Here is a checklist. Show that the recurring decimal 0.473 can be written as the fraction 469 over 990. Pause the video to answer this question. Here's the working out. In this recurring decimal, the digit 4 does not recur. Follow the same steps to write n as a fraction. After you divide by 99, multiply the top and bottom of your fraction by 10 to convert the decimal in the numerator into an integer. Work out the recurring decimal 0.54 as a fraction in its simplest form. Here's the working out. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Free maths lessons, upper and lower bounds. Upper and lower bounds are a measure of accuracy. For example, the width of a postcard is given as 8 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. The actual width of the postcard could be anything between 7.5 centimeters and 8.5 centimeters. To find the overall upper and lower bounds of the answer to a calculation, use these rules. The overall lower bound of a plus b is equal to lower bound of a plus lower bound of b. Worked example. A roll of ribbon is 100 centimeters long. Correct to two significant figures. A 21 centimeter piece of ribbon is cut off the roll. Correct to the nearest centimeter. Calculate the lower bound in centimeters for the correct amount of ribbon remaining on the roll. If you're answering questions about upper and lower bounds, it's a good idea to write out the upper and lower bound for all values given in the question before you start. To work out the lower bound for a minus b, you need to use the lower bound for a and the upper bound for b. Here are the upper and lower bounds. Here's the working out. Different values might be given to different degrees of accuracy. The length of the roll is correct to two significant figures or the nearest 10 centimeters. The length of the piece cut off is correct to the nearest centimeter. Be really careful when you're working out the upper and lower bounds. Here's a question for you to try. Pause the video to answer this question. Here's the working out. Remember to use these rules to find the overall upper and lower bounds. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Free maths lessons, accuracy and error. When a question involves upper and lower bounds, you might need to give your answer to an appropriate degree of accuracy. You can use this strategy. Here are the steps. Worked example. A cylinder has a volume of 115 centimeters cubed. Is the nearest centimeter cubed. Its radius is 2.3 centimeters. Correct to one decimal place. Work out the height of the cylinder to an appropriate degree of accuracy. Justify your answer. Here are the values for the upper and lower bounds. Here's the working out. The answer is 7 centimeters. If a question asks for an appropriate degree of accuracy, you have to consider upper and lower bounds. You need to choose an answer that both bounds will round to. Here is an explanation. Lay out your working clearly so that you can show your method. You could also write a sentence like this at the end of your answer. Upper bound and lower bound both round to 7 centimeters to one significant figure. You can streamline your answers by using inequality notation to write down upper and lower bounds. Here are what the symbols mean. Here's a question below. Pause the video to answer this question. Here's the working out. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Free maths lessons, surds. You can give exact answers to calculations by leaving some numbers as square roots. Here's an explanation. Rules for simplifying square roots. These are the most important rules to remember when dealing with surds. Worked example. Answer the question below, providing all your working out. Pause the video to answer this question. Here's the working out. The question you just answered says show that, so you can't use your calculator. You need to show each step of your working clearly. Here I have provided the steps. Rationalizing the denominator of a fraction means making the denominator a whole number. You can do this by multiplying the top and bottom of the fraction by the surd part in the denominator. Here's an explanation. Good form. Most surd questions ask you to write a number or answer in a certain form. This means you need to find integers for all the letters in the expression. Here's an explanation. Now try this. Answer the question below, providing all your working out. Pause the video to answer this question. Here's the working out. Remember these important rules. These are the most important rules to remember when dealing with surds. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Free maths lessons, counting strategies. You might need to find strategies for counting the total number of possible combinations. One way of finding combinations is to make a systematic list. Here are all the possible 3-digit numbers that can be made from the number card shown previously. Sometimes it's impossible to write down every possible combination. You can count combinations by multiplying the number of choices for each option. Here's a 4-character password for a website. The first character must be a letter. The second character must be a digit from 0 to 9. The third character must be a letter. The fourth character must be one of the symbols shown below. The total number of possible passwords is 27,040. The lock on this briefcase has 3 dials. The first dial can be any letter and the last 2 dials can be any digit from 0 to 9. Here's one possible combination. How many different ways are there of setting the code? Pause the video to answer this question and remember to provide all your working out. The answer is 2,600. I have also provided the working out. A different suitcase has 4 dials. The first 2 dials can be any letter from A to E, and the last 2 dials can be any even digit greater than 0. How many different ways are there of setting this code? Pause the video to answer this question and remember to provide all your working out. The answer is 400. I have also provided the working out. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Free maths lessons, problem solving practice. Throughout your exams, you'll need to problem solve, reason, interpret, and communicate mathematically. If you come across a tricky or unfamiliar question in your exam, you can try some of these strategies. The diagram below shows 2 types of plastic blocks. Block A is 24 mm long. Block B is 32 mm long. Pause the video to answer this question and remember to provide all your working out. Here's the working out. The answer is 96 mm. Here I have provided you with some information for the question you just answered. Pause the video to answer this question and remember to provide all your working out. The answer is 18 days. I've also provided the working out. Here I've provided you with some information for the question you just answered. Pause the video to answer this question, and remember to provide all your working out. Here's the working out. Here I've provided you with some information for the question you just answered. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share.